Is Tennessee's win versus Kentucky glass half full or half empty? What the H?
What the? What was he thinking?
Release the hounds.
The Dave Hooker Show.
Keep cool.
A presentation of OffTheHookSports.com.
All right, Caleb, half full or half empty? What was that game if it were a glass of Chardonnay?
Well, if you're trying to cut down on the alcohol and it's a glass of Chardonnay, I think half empty would be the positive thing. Okay, sorry.
True. You have the shakes and you want half empty. All right.
Yes.
Caleb, I know we're supposed to probably disagree on these things a lot. It drives traffic, but I think you're going to go the same direction as me, but I could be wrong. I think it's a glass half full. And I think it's clearly half full and maybe brimming at the top because Tennessee saw Nico take a step, which is almost as big as Tennessee winning the game, not quite as big. And I didn't feel like, given this defense, that Tennessee was ever going to lose it, despite the fact that it was theoretically close. So to me, it's definitely a half full.
I agree. I think it's half full. And let's not forget what this Kentucky team has done. They took Georgia to the wire and lost 13-12, albeit at Georgia, fine. I'm sorry, albeit at home, albeit at Kentucky. But they also beat Ole Miss. And Dave, if not for that Kentucky win against Ole Miss, we'd be looking at Ole Miss as a top 5 caliber team right now. That Kentucky win is really holding them back. So yes, they lost to Auburn. Yes, they are probably not that great of a team, but they are that type of team, Dave, that they can really turn it up a notch in certain games at certain times, which they did against Tennessee. On top of that, I'll just say this. That was a 28-18 game. I don't know. Maybe it just felt different to me, but even though it was kind of a game, didn't it feel like Tennessee was really controlling Kentucky for the whole game?
It did. And I think you have to remember this. For Kentucky and Mark Stoops, that was a Super Bowl. You don't think they were, given their season, ultra focused on that game? Caleb, I can promise you they were. That changes the entire tenor of Kentucky's season, does it not? If they win.
Entire tenor.
If they win, it changes the entire tenor of their season.
I totally agree. Kentucky fans are satisfied going 2-10 and beating Tennessee. I think you and I would both agree with that, right? Whereas
probably, maybe a little bit more than that, but yeah.
Yeah, but you go to Tennessee fans and you say you can go 8-4, but you'll beat Alabama, or you can go 11-1, but your one losses to Alabama, but you'll win the SEC title and you might go to the national title game. I think they'll take the latter. They'll take losing to Alabama for actual success. I think we all agree the 97 team is considered a more successful season than the 2001 team, even though the 97 team lost to Florida and the 2001 team beat Florida. Why? The 97 team won the SEC title.
Right.
So win. I think
Colton says something that's very wise. Tennessee is everyone's Super Bowl this year. There's something to be said for that. If Tennessee was an 8-4 team like they had been previously in the decade of dysfunction, shout out to Mark Nagy there, then you wouldn't say that. But now, as one of the top 10 teams or top 15 to begin the season, Tennessee is truly on everybody's radar, that if you win this game, you charge the field, a la Arkansas.
Yes, that's actually, and that's more like Tennessee of old. Like, remember, Dave, back-to-back weeks where Tennessee lost to LSU and Georgia on the road and both fan bases charged the field?
Yes.
And Georgia did it when Tennessee was 2-3 and Georgia was undefeated and in the top 10 or had one loss, I think, at the time. And they still stormed the field. So that's Tennessee of old. I agree. And I think Tennessee fans, look, yeah, they should be absolutely thrilled about just getting past this game with the win. Kentucky makes games ugly. They're capable of turning any game into a really hideous dogfight sometimes.
I agree, especially with he's still a redshirt freshman quarterback. I think he took a major step in the second half against Alabama last week against Kentucky, but you're still a redshirt freshman quarterback.
Yeah, no, I agree. You're still a redshirt freshman quarterback. And also, look, this is an offense that hasn't been able to get in sync all year, but they've shown flashes. I've always told you guys this, and I keep saying it. Offenses that show flashes, they can put it all together at any point. Defenses that show flashes but are bad, If they're bad, they're bad. That's period, end of story. If they're bad in September, I mean, what was the rule, Dave, when you covered spring practice back in the day? It was always a red flag if the offense was ahead of the defense, wasn't it? Always.
Yes. Huge red flag.
Yeah. And so that's not the case here. The offense can put it together. The best example I give you, and I keep saying this, is, Dave, the Giants' 2 Super Bowl wins in the NFL. I think you and I both know those teams. Wasn't the offense pretty much just mediocre the whole season until January? And then they just kind of put it all together?
Their defense played Eli Manning into the Hall of Fame. And this defense right now is playing Nico into the college football playoff and perhaps deep into the college football playoff. Exactly.
And the philosophy of the Giants was the offensive talent is there, but it's going to be consistent. Let's stay afloat. Let's keep the team afloat. Just
defense,
good enough.
You said offense. Defense. I think you meant defense.
Well, no. The defense was good, period. The offense was good enough to where if they put it all together, they could be great, but you didn't know when they would.
Okay, but along those lines, that offense was good when they hit the postseason. Okay.
That's what I mean.
Okay. So can this offense replicate that? Can this offense go from whatever you would think it is? What is it? It's probably, we'll look it up. Do you think they can be considered an elite offense by the end of the year? Let me ask you that.
Yes, because they're showing flashes. And I guess that's what I was asking you. You watch a lot of NFC East football. Wasn't it true that both those times, like, even though the Giants would struggle offensively during the season, you would see flashes of greatness, wouldn't you? Where you thought, man, if they could just put this all together, they could be really, really, really good.
Here's the thing to remember. Tennessee, guess where Tennessee is in total offense in yards per game in the SEC?
Where?
Just guess.
4th? 3rd?
Pretty good. They're 3rd. With offensive tackle issues, with a redshirt freshman quarterback, and a lot of mistakes and drops. So they're averaging 474 yards per game, 3rd in the SEC behind Ole Miss and Arkansas. And let's be honest, Ole Miss has had a lot of inflated numbers this year. They can be, by the end of the year, the top offense in the SEC.
But to push back a little bit on that, how much of that is inflated by their non-conference play?
A good bit. I mean, no, I won't argue with that. A good bit, but still, a lot of these teams have played poor non-conference teams. So even if you grade,
I think Tennessee's had one of the worst, honestly.
Yeah. No, I agree.
By non-conference standards, they've had one of the worst.
Totally agree. But even if you graded it on a curve and said top half of the SEC with all the issues they've had, I would argue that's good. Work trucks, yes.
Not to mention, we also have to add this part too with offense. Tennessee's SEC schedule has been significantly easier than a lot of other SEC teams. I mean, that's the other part we got to throw in here. The best team they played was Alabama, but they haven't played Georgia yet. They're avoiding Texas on the year.
Do me a favor.
They don't play Texas A&M and LSU.
Do me a favor. When I tell people about Work Trucks, look up strength of schedule because I want to see where it pans out now. Work Trucks, all about trucks that are actually available, trucks that help you maximize your profits by having the right work vehicle. Now, what the H? Why would you go anywhere but Work Trucks? Time is money. The perfect work vehicle doesn't break down, has all the space to carry what you need. That's what Work Trucks is intent on offering, while other dealerships can't do it. Contracting is about time. Work Trucks saves you time, less back and forth trips, trucks that pass the highest standards to be put to work. The process is quick and easy when choosing a vehicle for work trucks, cargo vans, utility body trucks with an app-pod work bodies installed, pickup trucks of all sizes, and anything special like cranes or dump trucks. Work Trucks supplies vehicles to people just like you and get you back on the road tomorrow in a dealership runaround. If you're a contractor, you got to know about Work Trucks. That's a fact. Service industry, Work Trucks. Work Trucks carries the trucks that your business has to have. You need Work Trucks. Clinton Highway in Knoxville and downtown Birmingham. For the entire inventory, go online to worktrucksllc.com with an X, worktrucksllc.com. Don't risk chancing your future in business on the wrong piece of equipment that burns your time. Worktrucksllc.com. Proud supporters of the Tennessee Vols. They'll get you outfitted to a T. Work Trucks with an X, LLC.com. Where does Tennessee strength of schedule rank, Caleb?
So if you throw out predictive modeling, you just throw in currently and use the FPI model, their strength of schedule is 33rd, which is actually better than I thought, interestingly enough. But okay.
So where's Ole Miss's?
Ole Miss's strength of schedule is, and they're shockingly low in the FPI rankings, by the way, but their strength of schedule is.
Well, I was shocked. They haven't played anybody.
That is true. Sorry, I'm having trouble looking at. They're one spot ahead of Tennessee. They have the 32nd ranked strength of schedule based on the FPI.
Okay. So I mean, to me, that's obviously negligible, right?
Yeah, that's totally negligible. Teams ahead of Tennessee: Georgia, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, LSU, Texas A&M, Auburn, Missouri, and Ole Miss. So we're talking Tennessee has the second worst schedule in the SEC as of right now. Only to Texas, which has by far the worst schedule in the SEC. They're all the way down at 54.
Okay, but again, they're around 35th, did you say, in the nation?
33rd in the nation.
33rd.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad. That to me,
it is, but we're ranking among SEC teams, and they have the second easiest schedule of all SEC teams.
Right. But to me, if you're 33rd in the nation, then the discussion's kind of over. You're not like 107th. That would be different.
No, that is true. You're right. But no one from the SEC is ever going to be 107th, to be fair. But look, overall, I'm with you. I'm still glass half full guy. By the way, also, even though Tennessee has the second worst strength of schedule, it's not like the teams they've played they played some of the better defenses in the SEC, to be fair. I mean, like Kentucky and Oklahoma stand out for that.
Timothy said, I'm actually I'm more worried about Vanderbilt. We'll definitely get into that. We're not going to look that far ahead, but we are looking ahead when it comes to Quincy Calhoun's college fund. So thanks for the super chat. It will go to that.